I call the meeting to order, begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item we have is approval of the agenda. One addition I need to make under G, under 7G. It's the RJL representing the county. Are there any other additions, modifications?
I think there was a small change of that Trevor Shepherd is now Mark Lynch.
Okay. Mark Lynch.
If I could make one request per the auditor's office. If you are going to speak, to please come up and announce yourself before speaking. When we're doing the minutes and everything, it's really hard when there's just answering questions from the audience or whatever. So anything, please come forward. Lisa Eckert does my minutes, and she has requested that because it's gotten to where we've got a lot of that going on. So, please.
With that said, I'd entertain a motion to accept it as modified.
Make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Nathan.
Good evening.
Aye.
I'm Nathan Held with Indiana 15 Regional Planning Commission. Here to talk about the EPA Brownfields Coalition Assessment Grant. We are wrapping up the one that we got funded back in 2023. And so we're getting ready to apply for the next round of funding. That's due next Wednesday. And the way these work is, since it's a coalition, we serve 6 counties, but for whatever reason, they only allow 4 non-coalition members. So Indiana 15 serves as the lead coalition member, and then 4 of our counties serve as non-lead coalition members. So we still look at sites. The Brownfields Assessment Grant funds the phase 1 and phase 2 assessments on sites that could be redeveloped, but there might be some environmental issues there. So the assessments check and make sure, tell the property owner what actually is there and what they're facing. So last time around, we were awarded $500,000. We spent $108,000 in Perry County. Even though last time around you weren't actually a coalition member, but because we serve 6 counties, we look at sites in all 6 counties. But by being a coalition member, you're guaranteed 1 site, even though we do at least one in each county anyway. So it's kind of just a formality, I guess, in a way. But what we're here tonight is to ask if Perry County would like to be a coalition member for this round of funding. Crawford County, Du Bois County, Spencer County have already been approached and have said yes. So you're on the list for this year. Orange and Pike County were last time around, and so we just kind of rotated it. So there is no financial commitment that we're asking for. Really, all that we ask is for the letter that we include in the application. And if this gets funded, we just ask that you help us find sites in the county.
And it's public or private?
Public or private, yes.
And what it amounts to is if someone's a little concerned, there may have been environmental issues. This funds the first phase and potentially the second phase if something's discovered.
Yes. Yeah. So phase 2 actually is the testing phase where it tells you exactly what's there. If there's a tank that's there, this doesn't fund cleanup, but if there's an underground storage tank, you can do cleanup, kind of circumvent the rules, take the tank out because you have to test underneath. So that's actually a really good thing with this funding is you get to remove the tank, and even though it doesn't technically fund cleanup. So,
And that could run into quite a bit of money.
oh, yeah, especially if they're full.
Yep.
And we did run into that this previous round, so.
I make a motion for approval of the collation.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor?
I did send a letter.
Yeah, we did, but nobody, hey, Pam, she's on top of things.
I actually have it in the slide.
Yes, you did. Thank you, Chris.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks.
Next, we have Mark Lynch on the Rome Campground.
Good evening.
Hello.
Mark Lynch from Campground. We're here to discuss their easements through the property that Camp Rome is currently on. Best Oak owns the property. And we're here to talk about, the health department has asked us to figure out a way to deal with the easements that are throughout the campground currently. There are several parcels, 3 parcels with several blocks within those parcels. And there's a road and some alleys that are easements throughout the property that date back several years. So we're here to come up with a solution, either have you grant an easement across those properties, or the health department to approve a septic transportation system, or for you to convey those properties over to us so that we can combine all the properties into one parcel.
So then our question is gonna be, or at least mine, how does this affect your campgrounds? I mean, I assume, and I may be incorrect, a lot of this has happened years and years ago where it was kind of laid out into a city with streets and alleys
Correct.
and
Rome was a city once before, and that's where these roads come from, the original roads and easements.
right. So whether it came from a platted, accepted plat, I'm not sure. I think the county attorney has looked into it. And I think there's a question as to what the county actual ownership is, or whether it's an easement, or how it's actually affects it now. How does that affect your project?
So
If we said
Yeah, right.
we have no way to transfer anything that we don't own, and then it's kind of no man's land, how would that affect you?
So the health department has asked for the
Indiana State?
Indiana State Health Department. So that, one, that we can conform, make sure that we're doing things correct. So as they see it on the plat, they see it as easements that we have to have conveyance across to be able to put anything on the property, whether it's electric lines or water, septic, anything. And even if we put in our own homes. So this was something we weren't aware of when we bought the property. It's just come up recently. So we're just trying to figure out how to navigate this. One, we have to figure out who owns that property. If you do not, then we need to figure out what kind of easement it is, so that we can alleviate any concerns from the health department.
So
Did that answer your question?
sorta, do you have like a meets and bounds description of the whole entire parcel?
No, it's only a
It's in
portion.
lots?
It's all in lots, yes.
Okay.
So it's,
How many of these are county-owned sections?
so if you look out on the plat that we have, the aerial, there are squares in there that is owned by Best Oak. And then in between the squares, you'll see little areas. So there's divisions in between those squares. Those are the easements. So the squares do not connect each other. So there was a main road, north-south. There's 2 roads that are east-west. And then in between each of the original lots from the original town, there are alleyways. And that's the portions in between all the squares.
Has anyone checked with the recorder's office to see where any of this is, or is it too old, or has it never been recorded? Or
So you see on this, the Cash Wagner survey,
Mhm.
it's kind of hard to read, but you can see the original houses that were in this property since the flood years and years ago. That's, the town was level basically and never be reconstructed because it's in a floodway. So there's never going to be another town there. And from my understanding, nothing was ever done with this property except conveyed to the next purchaser. So now
Which is,
me. It's gotten to me now. We're having to deal with this to find out how to navigate this. And I wish I had a solution. I haven't been able to get an answer yet. So that's why we're here to start taking steps towards that.
how many campsites are you talking about?
Right now, there's 40.
Are these primitive or do they have,
Yeah, RV, primitive. There'll be some cabins. So, and everything's on wheels because, again, we're in a floodway.
That was my next question, is it allowable in that floodway?
So we have 9 different permits that we're dealing with. DNR is number 1, Army Corps of Engineers, Homeland Security,
fish and game?
Fish and Game. The Health Department has 5 different ones. Waterway, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here, but the biggest thing is no permanent sites. Livable permanent sites can be on this property. It all has to be
Because of the
transferable.
floodplain.
Right, floodway, which is
Floodway.
different than a floodplain. I've been instructed.
Explain to me the chain of title again. I'm kind of confused of how that kind of broke up. Like if it was Rome and county owned, how did you not get clear title in the survey process?
So in this, well,
Or do you have title to the property?
I have title to the property. So everything you see in between the squares, my assumption when we bought the property, and nobody told us any different, that it was all one big piece of property. But now that we're going through this process, we found out that there are easements throughout the property.
Because of
And
the town used to
Because
be
of the
there.
town used to be there, and it was never addressed since the time that the town was done until the time that the next purchaser purchased that whole property. So now it's my job to kind of clear all this up.
See, I'm not sure if it falls like some of the other old plats. He actually has a deed to the lot. The separation between them was proposed to be a roadway, and it was never deeded. So it became,
Similar to the situation we had in Leopold.
exactly.
Yeah, we
I
did
think that's a
Leopold with that
classic example.
situation
We
there.
had-
Okay.
We ended up, the county ends up with actually the deed to the property with anticipation of using it for roadways, utility access, and these different.
Then it never
And
happened.
it develops into a
Yeah.
city that way.
Mhm.
And in this case, it never occurred. But this was the planning. I know there's several of them in the 1800s were done that way.
I think
And
there's some at
I'm
St.
just-
Croix also.
That's what they did. It was the planning before the building.
So we've been in contact with Andrew, who represents the county. He is supposed to be county, he just emailed earlier today. I think he's gonna be contacting your surveyors.
Okay.
And that was in that email that somebody sent. I had forwarded that to him.
I forwarded it on to the attorney and you guys when we originally
Mhm.
got it.
Because I think there's some questions of if it's a row or an actual alleyway, it makes a difference.
There's both.
And if we don't have a clear title to it, it's hard for us to give it away.
Oh, I understand that too.
So that
But the
becomes.
question is, who does, I guess?
So let Andrew get the ball rolling.
Okay.
Let us do some more digging.
Okay.
It does kind of sound like the same situation in Leopold. It's just, it took a while to finally be dug up. And it eventually was remedied. So,
I mean, that's great. That's why we're here to try to figure this out. So
okay.
How many acres are you actually speaking of here?
there's 7.2.
7.2.
I think we have all the contact information we need. Do you guys need anything from us? Just kind of be in touch in
Just,
emails.
yeah, just email, and this is, so we've been working on this project 2.5 years, and this just popped up, so. This is kind of the last step.
Okay,
And that's okay. It's,
So every site's gonna have their own septic system or a
It's a-
tank that,
it's a transport system to one tank. The health department's dictating how that all works. And Trevor worked up the design for that. I think you have the plans for that.
okay. I know there was, the former parks person, we have a small
Yes,
restroom there.
yes.
And he was concerned that we'd have 40 tenants trying to use that.
No.
So
No.
just to make sure that that's.
There's already tenants there using that, but yeah, I've actually,
He expressed that concern. He said it won't work. So,
it won't.
yeah. So,
Which was the health department's concern as well. That's why it's all these permits that we've been working on, it really was important so that we could have a good plan in place and what we had to have. And again, this is kind of the last step into that process. And the easements has kind of been the stopping point.
okay.
well, thank
So-
you for,
The county attorney's on it. So,
Thank you.
all right.
he'll be in touch.
you.
Okay,
Thanks.
Next, we have Warren Taylor.
Good evening.
Warren.
I got a couple of things, which when I sent the letter out, this is all about Eagles Bluff. We have opened it up now 24/7. We're still working on trying to get a gate, but
You're open 24/7? It's not closed at night?
no. And we're going to see how that goes until we can get enough funding to get electronic gate up. We thought we had enough funding for it, but part of the funding got cut in half, so we're looking for funding. But the thing I've got about Eagles Bluff, since we've opened it up, I found out the other day from our parks director now that we have to pay to take the trash from the park to the solid waste disposal area. If that's a county, if the county is controlling the solid waste, should the parks board have to pay to get rid of our trash from up there?
Well, the county transferred some property here the first year or in the last year. We had to pay the auditor and a recorder to record our deeds and our fees. So it's just how the system works. Each entity kind of is independent and they operate. That's how it's been. So, I mean,
Our funding, I mean, with the budgets for this year, we're gonna run out of money really quick if they start using it like at night, which the sheriff's department and county police department said when they had somebody available down in that area, they might run up through there at night. Last week, I drove up through there twice, about 9:30. And that brings us to the other question. And I realize it's due to the cost of electricity, which will have to come from additional funding from the council. But I'm just asking commissioners maybe put a good word into the council because there's not enough money in the budget for utilities for those lights because you got 2 sets of lights in the parking lot. I think there's two lights on each pole. Then you got a light at the entrance of the walkway to go up the walk. You got 4 other lights going up the walkway, plus the lights in the, I call it building where the bathroom's at.
so how is this done with Greg? I mean, did he turn
They shut
it
them
on?
all, they shut them all off at night.
So did he manually do that? Is that how he did?
Yeah.
So he went up there and opened it and he went up there and closed
Him
it?
or his helper, one did.
But you're not doing this, so you're saving some labor there
Yeah,
that was going into that.
so,
They were getting comp time for that.
yeah, they was getting comp time.
And then
for it.
the comp time, again, we didn't have any employees because they were using.
So it's, it's just a couple of questions, but I think the utilities is going to be the big thing because with the lights on all night long, the cost is going to shoot up.
Is there any way to do them as a motion?
Or a time or
Or
something.
timer.
The only
Well, you have
problem,
to
here's
come
what
up
you're gonna
with-
get into, and I can tell you what'll happen. You're leaving it open 24/7. Obviously, you have trash containers up there. So you're gonna start becoming the trash depot for everybody.
Everybody
You're
else.
gonna run them all night long, so it's gonna be the hangout where we can do that. We'll start getting vandalism.
Yeah.
The answer to this question is what they've done all along is close it and open it during certain specific hours, but your solution to that is the gate.
Right.
The gate's the solution. That way you don't have to worry about filling up with so
And
much
that's what
trash.
we're working
You
on.
won't have to worry about your electric bill, and then you can manage open hours
Right.
remotely without having the employee invested in it. So
But at this time, until we can get all the additional, because the electronic gate's gonna be right at $15,000.
Mhm.
So, and we don't have that kind of money in the budget. The CVB said they would possibly maybe help with half of that, but we'd have to come up with the other half, trying to find what donations or a grant to fund the other half of the gate. So that's where we're, until we can get a gate, we decided we're going to try it for 3 months, see if we actually have any problems up there at nighttime. I'm hoping we don't, but
And if you do, will you shut it down?
we'll shut it back down again. And, and there's a lot of people upset over it being closed, and because they didn't have access to it on weekends. And I understand that, because Cindy and I go up a lot of times on a Saturday or Sunday and sit in shelter house and have a picnic. So I understand where the, general public's come from, that they don't have access to it. But at the same time, we had to make some kind of arrangement, since we can't afford the comp time.
I think I just want to say, as far as what was brought to the Personnel Policy Committee, was a lot of the fact of that position having to open and close that park 365 days a week, on the weekends, on holidays, and all that. So that's why we took that request from the Parks and Rec people to the Parks and Rec board on that. So
Yeah.
that's the Parks and Rec's decision to close it. It's not.
Could that actually be cut down if the gentleman opened after he started work at 7 in the morning, open a gate, and he gets off at what, 4? 3?
Well, if he's not doing that, he should be a regular schedule, because he was leaving at 3 because he was going to close it later on at night. So it could be, the change could be where he could open it up when he starts his day and
That's what I'm
close it.
saying.
Mhm.
And until the gate is figured out.
Yeah.
If I didn't know
Well,
the
on
gate-
weekends, then you're gonna have to run up there on weekends
Well,
too.
I know weekends would be the 2 days, but it wouldn't be like it's 7 days a week,
And,
twice a day.
and the Parks Board, we decide, we'd try it for 3 months to see how it works. And hopefully by then we can come up with the funding, go ahead and get the gate ordered and get it put in. And then that would relieve all the problems.
Mhm.
I hope all the problems.
Yeah, that just bothers me that people start going up there at night.
Well, that was our biggest concern too, and, because I know how it used to be several years ago.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, so, but that's just, my main 2 things was about the utilities and the trash. I feel we'll have more trash, I hope not. And I just want to let you know, and the only other thing, it hasn't got to do anything with the Parks Board, but I got a notice today from Indiana Donors Network for Perry County. We came in number 6 again in the state
Seen that.
for referrals. And I think I gotta brag on my people for making referrals, because all the other counties that made referrals was like Marion County, Hamilton County, Johnson County, Hendricks County, and they're all over, well, anywhere from 1 million to 190,000 population. Here we're at under 20,000. So
That's good.
I think kind of says a little bit about the people in Perry County willing to help out. So
Mhm.
And that's all I've got, thanks.
Thanks, Warren.
Congratulations.
Let us know if you have any problems
Oh, I will. I will.
after dark.
Molly, well, we'll just skip. Dave, are you ready?
Yes. And part of mine too was about, I thought there was gonna be somebody here from the River Edge animals, and I might be called to back up about that. Okay, yeah. Thank you all. Just wanted to reiterate, and I think I talked to you earlier, like a couple of weeks back or whatever, is the vehicles that once we got the new ones from John Jones, brought those in, we did not trade in the ones that normally would have been done because we thought the amount of value they were going to give us for a trade was almost nil. And that we talked about it, that the idea that Dixon's maybe put them up for auction would be a better end of that, and we'll probably come up with something a little more. So I just wanted to verify that that's where we're going with that. If that's okay.
You know, my question is, sometimes they put them up, and I'm gonna just use an example, like eBay, and just put it out there and see what people's willing to pay us for something, let them bid on it to a certain period of time. And then if I don't know whether that generate any interest or not, versus, taking it to an auction, depending on who shows up at the auction, we may get a decent price, or if nobody's there, they may, I don't have any idea. I just thought if I don't know whether that's an option.
Have they
or
done
not.
that before, Dave?
I don't know, Eric. I don't think you ever had anybody on the auction there. Now, my first thought about eBay is that
Somebody still has
I'm
to
not saying
man that.
eBay, I'm just saying,
I know. I
you put it out
understand
in the front lot and
as an idea,
say,
but
make me an offer. and- I
I'd
don't know
rather
where we
let some
go.
other contractor maybe like doing that through Dixon's, because I don't do much on eBay because we actually take reports of people who got stiffed and problems from eBay.
Hopefully,
But that's
luckily, that
done.
wouldn't happen.
I know, sometimes the
The title should be good to the vehicle, so we'll
yeah,
guarantee
it's the
that.
first person coming. but-
What does Tell City do with theirs?
In the past, when I was involved with them more, we either tried to, sell them straight out and run with that, or get them auctioned out. It was, I would say, too rare that we did the trade-ins, because by the time you get to a certain point, it's like any of us trying to trade in a vehicle. You start making that determination: am I better to take what the dealer's willing to give me?
Mhm.
Because I'm thinking the dealer's going to tack on, he knows what he's going to get out of it. And can I sell that myself? And we had kind of done that in the past. No, let's see what we can get out of it. Because, just in generalities, I was thinking what the dealers were willing to give was maybe not going to make it. Now, we could be wrong. And where we're thinking on that is that sometimes you get some people, and local too, is that they start eyeballing them, even though we'll talk about police cars, there's a lot of mileage on them. They start looking at them like, okay, you had, when you got this thing, this engine package, or you've got a few other things going on. And so, they may want a piece of it apart instead of trying to sell the thing out. So that's where you start getting some money from it there if somebody's looking at it like that. Now, the caveat to that, I'm sure would still be in effect, and I haven't really looked at those statutes, is that it's making sure that, whoever gets them, or the seller, being us, if it turns into that, be responsible to make sure the markings are off of it.
Mhm.
That it's not out here driving around and it's still got the logos and all kinds of things on
We
it.
should probably do that before we sell it.
Yes. And actually on some of that goes into a couple other things, is that we would look at some of these and see what we can strip off of them that might be good, that would transfer, such as an example, if we had one of the Dodge Durangos, it's the plexiglass frame and cage that's on the inside.
Mhm.
If it's doable and can be converted into the new Durangos, because there's always changes being made, even if it's just an inch or something, and some of the cosmetics inside, we're looking at trying to save some money by, making that switch over. We'll try and actually strip some of it off ourselves and make it come out even better. And then it would go for scrap.
Which it has a price, whatever it's worth.
Right,
So,
by weight or.
I think in the past, there was more used car dealers in our neighborhood. And now it's kind of not too many anymore, so there may have been more of an interest back then.
And Randy, somebody said that was just not too long back. I was actually digging through some other things, and I found one of the old coloring books for the Tennessee Schweitzer Fest that the Schweitzer Fest committee put out there. And in that was a list of businesses who put in for that little coloring book that was made. And when you start flipping through it, it's all the businesses that used to be around. And then one of the things I thought about, because I saw this on a blurb a while back, and that was local car dealerships back in the day when there were so many people selling cars in Tell City, Perry County. These were the ones who gave money to little leagues and ball fields that had those billboards out there and pumped money, and how much money came from the small businesses that are all gone. And that's the sad thing. You're right. There used to be a lot more people out there who'd say, oh, okay, I'll buy that from you, or take it from you, or take it off your
Put it
hands.
in line.
They're not there.
Do they have any auctions for police cars, used police vehicles, or trucks, or what have you?
Yes, we have seen some on different sales brochures or whatever. And that's why I was wanting to contact Dixon's and check in with them, because they may have a better contact area about, say, we can advertise that.
Do we for sure have the titles? I think this happened before where
I can check,
To
make sure. If you can give me a list of
verify
those
titles.
vehicles, I'll verify we have the titles.
Right, we're going to, go through them again and say, these are the ones we're going to try and send that direction.
my other suggestion or
Depends.
idea would be is, I know Kevin just mentioned needing another vehicle for the Veterans Department. So if we may look internally first, if we're buying a new vehicle, if we can actually utilize in a different department.
If I may, is Kevin behind me somewhere?
I don't know what you think.
Yeah, man. Actually, being out at Greg's in here, somewhere, Greg. Actually being out and a few weeks back, looking around into some of the vehicles that are out at the armory in the buildings. The gray one that is parked behind that Hunter. I'm trying to think what year that is.
I'm not sure. The corners, man.
There we go. It's one of the old Corners vehicles.
Yeah.
And methinks that the battery and air and the tires up might actually be something that all it needs. And utilize that, because we were staring at it thinking about what else could that be utilized for. So does the water. So yes, you may have some vehicles internally that might be useful.
Mhm.
And, okay, well, while we brought that up, if I may, Greg and I were looking, and I was just out there earlier today, and we were starting one up because we were thinking about the ice snow possible, or what winter we're gonna have. There are two old Humvees, and I'm thinking they are with the Sheriff's Department. And I've slept since then, but back in the day, we got those, one I'm trying to think of, when we were around two, DMRO is what they called it, Depot Military something or other. Yes, that's where we picked up and got different things. I'm trying to think of where these may have come from initially. But one fired up, and it's been kept up, and it's looking pretty good. And so we were discussing, should we get snow or something? Yeah, using it. The other one, I didn't even try to start it out. Well, actually I did. I opened the door, and I think it's kind of pretty dead.
So
would
that's
be-
basically surplus.
Yes.
There may be some other vehicles.
Yeah.
So there may be some other vehicles that to try and think about getting a little bit of money for them or whatever
Mhm.
else. The old, when I was with the city with the DMRO project though, back then, now I'm thinking it's gotta been biased, is that there was number of years that they said the military did the government when they said, okay, if you got this, here it is. Yes, you must hang on to it for X number of time period.
Mhm.
And then if you were going to move it on, I thought there was a time period set aside, and like I said, I've slept since then, that if you moved it on, you can move over, like the Sheriff's Department could have sat there and said, okay, EMA's going to take it over now. And that was the easy peasy one. Other organizations could have it, but I think we're at a point with a couple of things like that. And yeah, I don't want to speak for the Corners, man.
Have
You
you,
guys know how it used to be, that silver, what is that silver one, Warren? Do you remember?
1940.
I don't
A
know.
little newer than that. Is that a ship
That
price
vehicle,
or
it's
I think it's a
Plymouth.
Plymouth General Motors?
It's a Plymouth, and the commissioners 3-4 years ago set it aside to give to the animal shelter to haul animals.
No, okay.
But
She's
they didn't want it
Okay.
because of the condition.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
That's,
On some of your Durangos, trucks, whatever, would those be suitable for any of the animal shelter to use? I know they have a van, but it's not gonna last forever.
We do, one of them is the pickup truck, right, Eric? It's the ones we're talking about. And,
Because I know at one time there was a truck purchased for
that,
the animal shelter.
and I believe that is still the truck that's there, and I'm thinking that, yes, if somebody can go back with the math real quick, that would probably been Lee Chestnut.
Yes, it
First
was.
And it is one of the ones that.
Because it was
are
equipped.
going to decommission down.
It was equipped by, I'm pretty sure, the Humane Society and donations with the catch poles and all this, but it never was used for it.
I remember somewhat, there was, I remember the catch pole, at least one that was in there, and a few other things, and there was a small cage kennel thing that was in the back end of it for a while. So it was used, I think, for a tiny, short time period or whatever, but then, yeah, they did not. But it is one of them.
How about we get a list?
4, 8, 12, so 16 years back, it's.
Yep. It's been
And if you
a while.
have, if,
It's gonna take you a little while to strip them or whatever you're gonna do, but you could compile us a list.
Give you a list.
And at the same time, Greg, whatever you've got out there too, we may have a fleet. I don't know, something that, whatever we don't need to own anymore. Or
And you could check with, like I said, check with Molly at the animal shelter. Because the van she's got is not gonna last forever.
Anything that's, we can use internally.
Yeah, the truck you have? Oh, yeah, here we go. This is 2012. We're trying to think of what year the thing was.
that's the truck.
Yeah, I got the picture of it.
Because it was bought new.
Yeah, right.
I remember when it was bought.
2012 Ram.
Yep.
They're thinking it may need a fuel pump and
So those are the three that I need to look for, the titles.
Yes.
I mean, the main thing she does is go to Hardingsburg to the veterinarian's office.
yeah, it's a cut down
Can
Ram.
I keep this or do you need this?
So-
Thank you. That's very helpful.
So let me just recap it. So we'll get you the serial numbers and the years and what they are and kind of take a look at them and see what we can utilize from them. And then once we get that to you and you want to put fillers out to somebody like.
Anybody that you
just to
think,
see-
yeah,
Police
see what you can
Yeah.
find out, and then
They'd
from
be
there,
interested.
we have to declare it surplus in order to
Has the
dispose of
insurance been taken off these?
them.
No, not yet, because
They're
it's
still
just,
driving.
yeah, I don't want anything to happen to
They're
them.
still
like
driving?
Yeah. Mother Nature get them, so,
Mhm.
no, we still.
Okay.
Okay.
And the new ones, we've contacted the insurance and they are locked and secured in the building right now.
What about the van, Greg, out in the Army? Is that off the insurance?
I haven't.
The little gray corners.
I would guess that it is still on.
I think that question came up. I think it is.
We still have
You couldn't
ownership.
find the title for
I think that's the one that was the issue.
it. It's so old.
Yeah.
We got some work to do.
Yeah.
Research.
Okay, yeah, my first guess was that. I want to keep it up even if it's in storage, just in case something happens. Speaking of vehicles, just wanted to let you guys know too. We had a off-road vehicular damage done to one of the squads. And we're still ascertaining that. Just wanted to say that out there. We've contacted the insurance company. We're getting a report from ISP about the
So we started everything on our end.
damage and stuff, yeah. So we're just
Was
trying
it
to
a lot of damage?
It's possibly total, and that's because of the undercarriage. I know at least when I examined it, the front axle's broken.
Was it a pursuit?
No. I
What's
would-
happened?
I would say that the issues are driver distraction and a little too much speed on the tight curves out by Dexter Bank in the nighttime. So we're still going over that.
Yep.
Okay. Going over about equipment again too, so other equipment. The tasers, not all of them, now that's a catch-all phrase from the company that makes them, but the electronic debilitating type systems. But somebody with Taser Corporation quite a few years ago got really smart about marketing and then about their research and further making of these items. So what they did was, you've got a Taser, let's just call it 0.0 or 1. And then as time went by, they made changes to it. And then as time went by, they made changes to it again and started changing the actual cartridges and the power systems in there. They went from, you got a power system that used, I think they were AA batteries that we could replace ourselves, to now, and there's probably another expert in here a little bit, the newest generations now have a inbuilt power system, comes from the factory. You have to send that back to the factory if you want it repowered eventually, but they're good for I forgot how long period with that power source. The cartridges changed as time went by. And so what I'm saying to you all is that the Sheriff's Department, we've got some that were like way generation back here. They're not quite 1, they're like 1.2, and we're up to like X's 26s or something like that. They're up to now. So, yeah. So what I found out was, and we were checking on this, is that we can't even get from the original manufacturer new cartridges, and as the power source and everything, they're not standing behind them. So we've got a few, and the reason I'm bringing this up is I'm not sure in this job, it's new to me a little bit, about dealing with some things as the price originally years back looked a little healthy there, but now they are absolutely at zero, just about, for what they're worth. Is what to do about those items, because there will be a time when there's nothing for them. So I'll be upfront with y'all. What I was approached about is that another agency that said, we don't have anything, and would you lend us yours or let us use them? So we were talking about that. And I said, you understand there's almost no cartridges for them anymore. And as they go and phase out, it's like you guys having a computer made now that was made in 1990 or something. And what are you going to do with it? And they said, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But they absolutely, we've already rotated through them way back. We've got newer model generations and have to. But it's what to do with some things because they bear a serial number.
When that time comes, we really need to watch that. Let's just
It could be a
envision an
liability.
officer who believes his taser actually is functional. He's in a situation,
Well, that's why we've got the new ones.
Right.
We're there.
but we don't want to give any kind of false understanding with another department
Oh,
that
no.
these things might even work. And I wouldn't want to put an officer there with a maybe.
Oh, no.
I just wouldn't do it.
That's somebody else
In
over
the
here
county-
making, that's somebody else over here making a decision saying, I'm willing to do that. And that's they're adult, got their adult paper, panties on, not me.
Well,
That's
what
a
does
thing.
one do with a laser taser that's no good? I mean,
Well,
what do you
you
do
reach
with
a
it?
point that some of the equipment that I dealt with at TCPD in years, as time went by like that, we would go back through and start looking at equipment, and it wasn't what it was worth when you paid for it 15, 20 years ago. It's like, what is the market value of it now? And I believe at that time, if something was only worth about $250 to $500, it was disposed of as you see fit. We would take pictures of some things. Some things I actually took down to the street department. We used a cutting torch and just tore them apart, just get rid of them.
Yeah.
And,
The liability would be.
yes,
the
our
one thing
things, we just busted them, we just tore them apart, or just flat out,
They're currently in the inventory, so they would have to be
So we
surplus.
get,
before-
we get
Yeah.
surplus them, and then I wouldn't want to put them out there for other people to pick up I just think that's irresponsible on the county's part. They need to be crushed.
Okay.
Or either take to, if the state police have a disposal method, that there can be something.
No, they wouldn't do anything.
So other than that, we wouldn't want them out on the streets.
I wouldn't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody picks one up and shoots it back at you. I mean, there's just too many scenarios there I don't think it's a county want to be involved with.
So is that how you want to handle other?
So if you're
departmental?
requesting to surplus it, the commissioners have to approve that. So if you want to get a list of, the
serial
amount of
numbers.
tasers
Yeah,
and get
photograph
that.
them all.
And then once they approve the surplus, then we'll remove them from our capital assets.
So to get some guidance from you all, what would you look at as far as just anything we start coming across, if we start looking back in time and seeing what's sitting around that's gathering dust that's worthless to us? Do you want to set a dollar amount where I can go through it and start going, okay, this is gonna go in this pile over here because, yeah, it's worth less than $250, $300, or if you have
If it's not serviceable anymore, you will have to get
or
a list.
non-serviceable.
But we're not junk dealers, so we might as well move it on. Now, maybe there's, it's like somebody will buy an old grenade. Maybe you can disable it and sell an old taser. But I mean, it just,
That's what I want.
I mean, at some point, I don't have any idea. I'm just speculating what you might find, but, whatever it is, get a list of it. We don't need it where we have to dust around it. If it's not serviceable for your department,
Okay.
there's just no reason to let it sit in the corner.
So that gets me to another item that is serviceable, but not within our department. So by statute and what some things that went on with time is that body armor. And I'm not gonna say bulletproof vest because there is no such thing, but body armor that is resistant or whatever. So body armor was given it was a marketing thing, and I think for the manufacturer. At one time, you just bought it and you kept it until whatever it stunk or something else, or it was used once, and if it was ever used, then you were to get rid of it.
Mhm.
But now they put a shelf life on body armor. And so by the statute, I'm roughly thinking 5 years. Every 5 years, and the manufacturers even put an expiration date on it. They say, okay, this is the date it's manufactured, it's good till then in the store, then, okay, we're out. So across the board for most, if not every law enforcement agency I can think of, and I can't think of it, it's not. When you have a hire, you get them in, so now you got them fitted, and with the new technology and everything, they are custom fitted for a carrier and then the panels themselves. So that becomes a custom fit. So here's what you run into now, and we've got several things in there too I'm digging around and finding, is that as time goes by, and 5 years go by, then you're starting to accumulate these panels and are then the carriers. And so I don't think it's necessary name, but we have one that is still within the time period of the 5 years. And it's custom fit. There's absolutely nobody else that's going to wear that except really that person who got custom fitted for them. So the question would be in these type of situations, so somebody goes to another department and leaves. Now, normally they leave the body armor behind. That's ours. So my brain started working a little bit. It was like, okay, if it's still within the parameters and they go to another line of job where they would need the body armor, about talking to the new employer, and say, hey, if you don't want to spend the money, we've got the armor and the carrier that's custom fitted for that person. Is it, let's make it deal time, and you tell us, or we start talking to them, okay, what's it worth and what do you want to pay me for it?
That's happened before, and it's a worthwhile discussion, because I know some of the officers that transfer, it takes a while to get them fitted and go back out.
It does.
And if it's coming from us, it's of zero value to us because it's custom fit. To the department they go to, they can go to work immediately if
Yes.
they take their bulletproof
There's
vest.
the value.
And that as
I
good,
use that word.
good neighbors, we need to do that. And one other thing while you're talking there, Leonard Hollow's, we redid all the interior of the ambulances, all equipment. that equipment has got an 8-year life. He found a company that purchased our old equipment from us, gave us more money than we got on trade-in. And what they do is refurbish it, and they'll sell it to like a third world country. So you might have an option there. But yeah, I don't know whether Leonard's contact was exclusive to medical equipment, but there may be a source where you could actually, where they don't have all the rules and regulations that we have, and you may be able to outsource it and get something on a vendor that repurposes it for another.
And there are other things I can check on. You're absolutely right. It's just not that. We have come across, and I've met some vendors in the past, and I asked them, and they were very upfront. I said, what are you doing with that? And they told me that you have contracts in Africa and Europe, and yeah, they can move that on and actually give us a better dollar per.
Get something out of it.
Okay.
So
All right.
worth looking into.
Okay. Thank you. And then the last part I had was, here, I got copies for everybody. This is what's called company policy 360. That's the nighttime reading here. And then here's reading, and I may have another copy for the attorney. So
I can scan and email it to him.
okay. What this is, Eric and I were talking. Eric got this started and got to looking at it, so I'm going to give him a lot of credit and kudos. There's a company out there called Lexpol and others. We were involved with them years back. And what they are a very recognized organization that looks at departmental policies and guidelines and what is current best practices and down the line. What we got to looking at and looking with Eric there, and I really appreciate him, was the policies and guidelines internally with the Sheriff's Department are very dated. And one of the things that he told me too, and I got to looking on this, was this company is where Lexpol is like nationwide and deals with broad spectrums, but they are still adhering to a good standard. And they're a great company. I don't want to badmouth. Where I think this company shines, and Eric and I were looking at, is that this company is very specific, state by state, with their research. And so the court cases are the summaries, are the judgments that has caused policy to become in effect, is out of Indiana, which is what we are in and what affects us the most. And they are driving force about going back over the departmental policies and guidelines from almost square one. They'll look at what we've already got. They'll definitely quickly pitch out those things that are outdated. And then they're open for, yes, what type of how you want to glean or move the policies forward. Policies such as this, that are guidelines, are standard operating procedures or operational guidelines, however we want to phrase it, are really the hallmark of departments, because if something should happen and we can come up with any type of scenario you're thinking about, one of the first things they will want to know is, do you have anything that it even remotely touches on that policy? And then, are your policies up to date, and are they within the guidelines of the Indiana courts, the Indiana Supreme Court, and we are in the 7th Circuit courts, which won't go into a political science class, but that is the states that surround us, that is right underneath the Supreme Court. And of course, the Supreme Court is the law of the land. That's for all the states. Does it adhere to these kind of things and to give guidance and everything? So I believe that the funding for this was actually there last year, and if I'm using my words right, we encumbered it.
The 400, that's what I was actually getting ready to look through, because $430 we've encumbered.
But then we held on to and floated
11,000.
11,000. Yep. I think we got the whole.
I was actually pulling this up.
She's pulling it up.
Yeah, I was like,
So you actually have this?
That money's there. Yes, it actually came from last year's budget, because we kept looking for it. this kept getting kind of sidetracked about stuff. And if anybody's paying attention to the national news now, we're seeing in that there's several court cases that are going on right now. And those kind of things would have an effect and an effect on this kind of stuff. But this company is, I think, got a lot of background behind it that stands by it, and a lot of good things we pulled up. If we get into this contract with them, I've got mine marked on what yours is. It's on page 7. And I don't know if you guys got marked or not. It's the top paragraph on page 7. It says termination of this, that if we enter into this agreement with them, that within the time notice of 30 days prior to the anniversary date, either them or us, we can sit there and say it's null and void and get out of it.
So this is a yearly,
No, I'm thinking, we're thinking this is good.
It could be yearly, it could separate, I think the general terms on the first page is it's set up for 60 months. But again, if the new sheriff comes in within 30 days of that anniversary date, if the new sheriff doesn't want the policies in force, then they can terminate the contract.
Yeah, I mean, we've done that many years in the past, and we can write some of our own. We can get to, like, for you guys, it would be the county attorney. You know, we sit there and say, okay, what do you think about this? But I think what I want to say, the foundation of this is that this organization standing by and the other groups that have gotten involved with this is that their background is, this is what they do. And this is what they're standing by. And
So Dave, what's the initial cost? And then what's the annual cost?
we don't.
So I think it's at the very back.
Yeah, you guys-
So it's
I think
here.
it's at the very back.
Okay, as long as it's in there.
The first year was 11,130.
yeah.
And then we asked them to give us an idea of what sustainability would look like. So they provided us with 27 and 28 information. So
Right, it's on the very last page.
27 goes down and 28 goes up. That don't make no sense.
And it depends on what the Supremes are doing in Washington DC. Is one thing. I'd recommend that, or just asking that, you know, you look at this really closely, and even to get them in the manageable area of what we're going to do in 26 and 27, I think it's well worth it, especially since we've got that money already set there for it.
I personally, am big on policies and procedure. If it's not in writing, then you have nothing.
That's true. That's
It has to be updated.
Yeah,
Things change every year.
one of the neat things about this is that they're going to train, and they're going to train on a reoccurring basis. So they're going to pick random policies, and our guys are going to have to log in, and they're going to have to read about it, and then they're going to have to
Answer questions.
Answer some questions about it. So that it's not just good enough to sign an acknowledgement. Yes, I'm in these policies.
Got it, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like getting your new computer thing and it says you got, and we all do it, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
You scroll to the very bottom because nobody's gonna sit there and read it. This one, everybody's gonna have to sit and read it because you gotta take the quizzy stuff to move onward to show that you're doing it.
so, and this is gonna include auditing and reporting also?
And Eric, you started all this last year,
Yes.
so that's why we've got that.
It took a little bit longer to get the project where it's at right now than I thought it was going to. And
The 430 is from work done in, $430 is from work done in 2025 that we didn't get everything done in time. That's why we encumbered the 430, the 11,000s for that policy, so.
One other neat, we had a webinar with them, and we went over a lot of questions. They answered all the questions we had. But there is a section that the guys will have access to 24/7. And they can type the concern that they're having out in the field, and it catches
Zeros to
keywords. Yeah, it catches keywords, and it's going to take them to the policies. If they're having an issue with drunk driver, it's going to see if they're whatever terminology they use, and it's going to give them a return when they ask the question, and it's going to say, here's policies on this, and you might look at this policy too because these words are in this policy. So it's amazing what kind of tools they have.
Right. When Eric was showing me, we were talking to I guess we did that on the Zoom meeting. Yeah, right. And just something you think is more mundane, but the hue and cry about that. So you're right, you got an officer that it's just not quite the normal thing. And it's like, should I tow this vehicle or not? So yeah, they were showing us that you go into towing vehicles or towing vehicle, driverless or whatever. And yeah, it caused the new AI and the new generated issues with electronically. Because spins to that, starts showing you everything there, and then it's got addendums just like a law book saying, okay, recent Indiana court cases that say this and this and this.
It's just a library of information.
It's an insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said that. Was about ready to come out of my mouth. Sometimes, and I hang around, you'll find out I'm a big proponent of training and getting certain things done, because I think it is more of a money saver in that long run, because one major litigation will wipe out your budgets. And even though this is kind of seemingly costly, it's really got a cheap insurance policy.
And that's including upgrades and maintenance, correct?
For the year.
You want to say are correct?
Yes, the 11,000 is already budgeted out of public safety for 2026, and we encumbered the 430 from an invoice with that for, from 2025, so the money is there.
And, wait, I almost forgot, I had my notes up here. We're submitting this to the Sheriff's Merit Board also, and letting them take a look at it also, and see if they have any questions. If they got any questions, we'll be right back, and was talking to them about how to contact these people, or we could all get together with another meeting, because we want them on board too. Gotta sit there and say.
More
yes,
eyes on it, the better.
Do you need a motion for approval or a motion for
I'm gonna
more,
read it first.
more
That's okay.
investigation?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of stuff here, and
Make sure.
No, it's all right.
it's supposed to.
If you have any questions, then you can contact information.
All right.
And you guys let us know a little bit later, and we'll let you
Thank
know.
you
what the
for
Merit
checking
Board
your
says.
You got any
inventory.
question? Yeah, we'll run it past them once and see whether they're on board.
And
By
she's
that
got,
time.
here, wait a minute. I did have that. Here's our copy. You want to give it to the attorney? Let's see if they want. You got it right there.
Thank you for all the work on
Yeah.
that.
All right,
Thank you guys for everything.
Thanks.
thanks.
Come on.
Next item up, we've got minutes from 12/16/2025.
I'll make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We also have approval of the minutes from 12/31/2025.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes from the January 5th, 2026 meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We've got to pay our bills, our payroll for 1/16/2026 in the amount of $184,757.74.
Make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Payroll withholding for the same date, 1/16/2026, in the amount of $39,327.89.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Quarterly sheriff's pension payment in the amount of $39,218.50.
I'll make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Solid waste claim docket for 1/20/26 in the amount of $6,814.84.
I'll make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable for 1/20/26 in the amount of $894,134.30.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Highway overtime funding.
I wanted to say something, Randy, about the solid waste. I was reading on the end of the year. There were over 75,000 trash tags sold from January to November last year. That's a lot. We're averaging about 5,000 to 6,000 a month.
A lot of trash going off the streets.
Yes.
Highway overtime funding. I think, is that a discussion on where we're
Yes.
gonna get
That's
it?
where we're gonna pull it.
Yes, so it's not included in the 2026 budget. Kelly Wilgus with payroll said we already had some overtime so we need to know where your plans are to ask for the council to budget and play for that out of, because we need to have that line item. It's currently not in the budget, so then in a sense, that line item would be negative.
Okay,
Until-
this time right now, we have what, currently, under the current, we have 4 truck driver positions open and 2 operators. So we have wages.
2 more operators, but
2 more quick.
So we have 4 operator openings and 4 truck driver openings. So there should be funds
just-
there, for overtime, which is basically wages.
So do you want me to do a transfer? Okay, so if you tell me within the 1176, because then what we need to do is, because we need to separate overtime from salary. So if you want, we can move some appropriation from those salary line items to overtime, but we cannot just pay overtime out of a salary line item. It has to be like a separate line item.
I'd say you could transfer it.
I just need to know what fund.
1176.
So 11, that's what I'm asking is that where,
It's under wages, not salary, because they're probably hourly, right?
correct, well,
For the
yeah,
operators,
wages, correct.
truck drivers.
So truck drivers and whatnot. So I guess we need to move some appropriation from truck driver to overtime within
Whatever to meet, whatever that,
within
Yeah.
1176. Is that right?
however you can pay.
Okay.
Do we need a motion on that, or is that?
I'll take the transfer to the council.
Okay.
The council will approve that transfer. I just need to know what
Let's
fund.
recommend that, make a motion.
Okay.
Transfer from the existing wage account into an overtime account to meet whatever needs is required at this time.
Within fund 1176.
I make a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Then we have 26 comp time balances.
I talked to Pam about this as well. We wanted some clarity on within HR and in the auditor's office on, I think there was not really any motion made or anything. It was just a discussion that starting in 2026, that the highway was going to start being paid overtime and not earning comp time. I know that it was talked about paying a discussion. We listened back on the video. A discussion of possibly paying out comp time. Then it was also said that they can, by the personnel policy handbook, that they can use what comp time they have now. Within the policy, personnel policy, it says that they have to use it within a year of earning it. So we just wanted to make sure we got some clarity because it was just discussions the last meeting. There wasn't really any decision on
Okay, so
that.
my question is, what's the balances?
Of what?
Comp time balances, are we talking about 100 hours or 1,000 hours? Do we know?
So I think our discussion, we weren't gonna pay out unless that's changed, but they were gonna just have, whatever that last time they got comp time, just go by the handbook and they have, I
That
think
time
up
to
to a
use
year, yeah.
That's kind of what I
So they
was
won't
thinking, but
Lose
how much?
anything, or we're not paying it all out at one time. They can still use their comp time up into that 1 year period.
Okay, we just didn't know how to answer the question,
Is
so I
that, is
said
that
I'd
how you
get some
understood it,
clarity.
Becky?
Yep, that's,
So
I'm trying to find it here.
let's make that formal too. I'd entertain a motion to use existing comp time out according to the current handbook.
I make a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item up, we have the PCDC affidavit for payment, and that's again on the all of the different environmental issues. It's a signed contract. It's paid for out of the bond proceeds, correct? In the
It's $4,000.
Riverview West area.
I make a motion?
Well, it has to be paid.
Yeah, we got a contract, so
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Health board appointments. Again, we've got, I think, just one. What we need to do is get that, because I think we've got several people that resigned. And is that not a political appointed so many.
Let me get both of
So,
those.
It used to be.
yes, and can't be more than a certain number. So
Mhm.
what we need to do, we need to re-advertise the health board. We need to determine what is an acceptable party affiliation and make people
I
aware
think
of
we've
that
got
too.
this posted right now.
Okay.
And, hold on a second, let me see. Apartments.
Where did Molly go?
She was having a cough and fit, but I
Oh,
don't
she
think see
did.
where she's come back.
I think there's 2 or 3 openings.
I thought there were 2.
Health board, we've got,
Was
I
it-
think they are party affiliated.
Yeah,
we've
they're
got
party
2,
affiliated.
actually, it looks like we have 3.
3 openings,
3 in a position.
3 plus a position?
No, 1, yeah, 3 plus a
Tara's
position.
position.
3 plus a position, so we need to advertise that and we need to.
It's advertised. It's on the
Okay, does it-
website as an
does it
open.
have-
It's
Okay,
got the IC code and all that.
does it have what we have to have, party affiliation?
Well, I mean, they have to specify and you can't just go more. So currently right now, you've got Republican, 3 Republican,
It's a 7-member board, right?
1, 2,
Mhm.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. So with the physician, if this physician counts as a member. So one of them has to be a physician,
It's mandatory?
yes. Got the IC code here.
Yeah, I think that's mandatory on the health board, but on the hospital board, it's not.
That's why the
That won't be a
language.
position. No.
Because you have a county health officer that is a physician, right? This isn't that position. Because Will
Correct.
Markram was holding that position.
Mhm.
I'm assuming he still does.
Yes, that's not the
Okay.
health officer.
So an additional physician is
Correct.
required to serve on the board itself.
Mhm.
Let's clarify that, because
Yep.
that's,
I will make sure we get that clarified. I know we've got both of them posted and both with our records, it shows that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 openings and no physician right now on the board, other than our health officer, which is not considered part of that.
Are these term ends or they just departed the board?
We had resignations, so one was a term that started in 2025 on a 4-year term, so it'll be done in 2028. We've got one that, and then 3 of them that their terms ended in 2025. But I'll check all that and make sure. But we did get 1 letter of interest, so I
just
just
hold on
wanted
to that
Okay.
and let's see if we can shake some more interest there. We need to get more people serving, to make sure we have the right political makeup. So I'd entertain a motion to table that.
I make a motion.
Second. How long will that be up for?
Advertisement? It just stays up until we fill it.
Okay.
Yeah, we keep all of the board
I didn't know if it was
appointments.
up a certain time or what.
We keep all, as long as there's an opening, we keep it posted.
Then I think the next one we have here, do we vote? All those in favor? The next one, the Port Authority, we need to re-advertise that one. Also, it was determined that Paul Brockman, who our appointment was, that's 2 lucrative jobs in the eyes of the state of Indiana. So we need to re-advertise that the same way. We have 1 opening on that board.
And that's commissioner appointed. for you
Yes,
guys,
that's an
right?
appointment for us. Then the PETA BOA appointment, we need to have Andrew clarify that to make sure that current members serving on that are in compliance with state law. And then the next item we have up is Perry County bid process. Pam, you want to do that one?
Oh, yes, this kind of came about when people submit bids. Some are being submitted to direct departments, and we feel all bids should go through our auditor's office. So you guys have proper notification in one place. That's it.
Part of this is you're the record keeper.
Correct.
So that when the bids come in, they come out, you need to have them for the record for future use if anybody wants to review them. So I think it's important that we funnel them through that method, all our bids. So I'd entertain a motion to make it mandatory that all bids are delivered to the auditor.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next one up here, and I'm going to read this motion. We've had an executive session and on this issue for quite some time, and it's not been resolved. So legal counsel drew up an actual motion that they want us to pass. So it reads as stated. I move that the Perry County Board of Commissioners authorizes the county to initiate litigation against the Perry County Development Corporation arising from matters previously discussed in executive session and related to contractual, fiduciary, and/or statutory obligations owed to the county under professional services agreements between the county and the PCDC for the fiscal years 2022, 2023, and 2024. This authorization includes approval for legal counsel to take all actions reasonably necessary to commence and prosecute such litigation, including the filings of pleadings, pursuit of claims, engagement in settlement discussions if warranted, and to seek all remedies available under Indiana law, subject to applicable law and further direction of the board. I further move that the Board of Commissioners appoints Josh Claiborne of Jackson Kelly as special legal counsel for said litigation. So that's my motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
The other item that I added was RJL Solutions is currently representing us at the Indiana legislature, and we need to approve the fact that they're actually doing this. They've started to do it, but we need to make it official. So I'd entertain a motion to engage RJL for the county's representation at the
I make a
Indiana State
motion.
Legislature this year.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting is Monday, February the 2nd, 2026 at 9 a.m. I'd entertain a.
Do you want anything on the fuel bill?
The fuel bids.
Oh, that's
You know, we
right.
need to- I started to say we need to
Thanks,
feel
Steve.
done.
Forgot all about that. Should have added that to it. Before we adjourn, we have current fuel bills as of today, and they give us the option whether we're going to have a fixed rate for the entire year or whether we're going to take a flex rate. And it basically $2.50 versus $2.40, some change. So the 10-cent difference, if we take the flex price, it's cheaper, but it could go up at any time over the next 12 months. 11 months actually now, because
And we've done,
so
Steve has done actually fixed.
we've had fixed
Several
for
years.
several years. So it's whatever you guys, it's kind of rolling the dice.
I'd like to stay with fixed.
Diane?
I make
I
a
second
motion.
it.
You okay?
Yep.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to accept the fixed rate for 2026.
It could go down another dime tomorrow, Steve.
I gotta call them in the morning and it'll be.
I doubt it.
Price is tomorrow.
Okay.
So
Could you let us know what that's going to be? All right, thank
Becky,
you.
did you make a motion?
Yes.
So it'll be the prices as of tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, he has to call
Okay.
it that day and then lock it in. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second that.
All those in favor?
All
Aye.
right.
Okay. And now I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And then she'll put that